Hello and welcome to Community Distance Reiki. I'm Danielle Stimpson of Learn Reiki Philadelphia. If you're here live, welcome. Feel free to go ahead and use the live chat to make any requests for healing that are specific to you. You can either request specific stones or your general healing theme, and I'll be more than happy to select stones for our healing grid based on those requests. If you are new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome in. If you're watching this on the replay, hello from the past. You're welcome to have, you're sure to have just as fun and healing a time as if you were here live. So glad that you're here. If you would like to join me live, go ahead and check out that description below. I'm here 5 times a week, same days, same times, every week, East Coast US time, with additional time sprinkled in around astrological events and world events as well. If you'd like to be notified every single time I go live, go ahead and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss a beat. Thank you all so much for being here. This is a Friday and I'm here at 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. East Coast US time, and I do hope that you join us for both if you can. I'll also be back on Sunday at 8 p.m. As I mentioned, go ahead and hop into that live chat and make any requests that you have for healing if you happen to be live. Be more than happy to put that into the crystal grid that we will build together. For about the first half of our session, we'll build that together in support of everyone's greatest good and special requests. And after a brief explanation of what Reiki is, we'll transition into the session where all you need to do is get as physically comfortable as you can. I will turn down the lights, turn up the music, and send healing to you wherever and whenever you happen to be. If you'd like to learn more about my online Reiki trainings, my community Discord, social media, or crystal shop, all of that information is in the description. So without any further ado, let's check in with the chat and see what crystals we're putting into our custom grid today. Hello and welcome back in, Grace, Jennifer, it's good to see you both. Grace, thank you for the early request. I've already picked your stones for you. Jennifer, it's wonderful to see you. Yeah, it's a bit of a dark day here in the States. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Not gonna lie. So, yeah, let's do our best to keep our spirits up for a little bit. Let's do that. So I'm going to go ahead and transition over to seeing the crystal grid, and we'll start to collaborate on that. So here we go. I've already put down some copper to help move the energy and break up any energy blockages that we may have. So we've got some small hammered pieces of copper there. In support of Grace's requests, I have amethyst, rose quartz, green calcite, and indigo gabbro. So far, let's see what we got. So rose quartz is one that is super familiar to most folks, and it's most well known for good reason. It's just the perfect stone of the heart. It can help to ease and encourage any kind of romance, opening to love, and also support for yourself through difficult times. It is just one of the most accessible stones, especially in the US. It's also one of the most impactful that you can add to any session. So yeah, we love it. We love it for all the good reasons. So let's go ahead and add some rose quartz. We've also got some green calcite. This is another stone of the heart, and I feel like it's one of the most underutilized stones. This and indigo gabbro, actually. This is an incredible stone to help us through anything that's overwhelming of the heart. Especially when used alongside rose quartz, green calcite can help to expand what the heart is able to hold and support ultimate healing, bringing in more unconditional love, especially when it comes to supporting ourselves in difficult times. It's a great resilience stone, especially when we've got some long-term stuff that we're working through. It's another stone that's like a kind of perfect in every situation. Another one here, as I mentioned, one of the stones that I feel like is one of the more underrated stones is Indigo Gabbro, which sometimes goes by Mystic Merlinite. This stone is black and purple, And as you can see here, it's a really intriguing stone to see. This stone is absolutely phenomenal for everything that has to do with finding the tendencies that we have that are kind of our own undoing. And what do I mean by that? We all have things, tendencies, habits, beliefs that kind of stand in our own way. They might be, say, techniques or things that we've done to help ourselves through difficult times, but they're not helping us now. This helps bring them to our attention so that they can be dealt with. So it's a shadow healing stone for sure. It finds those beliefs, actions, habits, and just sort of like default modes that we have, that everyone has, that are inhibiting us from moving forward in a way that's in our optimal best good. So this kind of digs up the dirt so we can wash it away, if you think of it like that. Healing karmic relationships, this can be very helpful with the Indigo Gabbro can be very helpful with healing karmic relationships, because it does help us see how those patterns are showing up in the here and now. So it can really help highlight, oh, here's the impact on me today that is in my way, that is setting me up for problems, that is keeping like the perpetuation of cycles that are not helpful. Additionally, we have amethyst by request, another stone that is super abundant in the US. And in South America as well. Amethyst is often used and thought of in the sense of like a 12-step group, and that makes a lot of sense. Amethyst can help us to take responsibility for what is ours and let go of responsibility for what is not ours. So it's very much in alignment with like the Serenity Prayer, for example. It's tremendous for helping see what our role is in a particular relationship and owning what we're bringing that's inappropriate, negative, not healing, and acknowledging what is not ours to fix, control, etc. Great for that. It's also fantastic for opening up our sense of intuition, in that when we can kind of disconnect in that way from the interpersonal dramas, we can better connect with the message from spirit that is in support of our highest good. So amethyst is always a beautiful stone to work with around that. So let's go ahead and bring this here. There we go. Okay. So there we go for amethyst. Let's see, healing karmic relationships. Let's see. There's a lot of good stones for that, but I'm trying to think of the greatest stone for that. I'm going to say Smoky Quartz for one. And also iolite, I feel could be really helpful. So let's bring out the Smoky Quartz. Smoky Quartz is highly protective, and it helps us with transmutation. It also helps to move energy blocks. It's another one that's really heavily linked with Reiki, and it can help us to kind of move through those difficult times. It helps us to feel protected, safe, and secure, while also creating those changes that we need to make. It takes the old stagnant energy and actually helps change it. Karen, it's wonderful to see you here. Gotcha. Absolutely can support that. I Hope you're doing well this day, as well as we can here in the States. So let's see, I'm going to put the Smoky Quartz inside of the copper. Iolite helps to do any kind of shamanic work, which can really help quite a bit when it comes to doing the work of past lives, doing the work of not just now, but before, not just here, but in spirit. And also Chrysocolla. Definitely self-love. Karen is definitely got that with rose quartz and amethyst. Also green calcite. Yeah, that's really well said. That's so beautifully said. All here in the States letting go of the anger, but using that anger to be put into action. I could not agree more. Yeah, let anger motivate you towards change, not, self-destruction in a sense. Yeah, I could not agree more. I feel like as much as we have talked about, I feel like there's a theme kind of underneath everything that we've talked about so far. And Chrysocolla, this is a stone that can be really potent in so many ways. This is really, really linked with the higher self and our spirit guides and sort of knowing exactly what we need to do and getting it done and only listening to what's in our highest good. So this is definitely encouragement on the path and on your spiritual purpose in making those decisions and new ways of being creative and expressing, because we are going to have to express our feelings and what we want to do and only move forward in ways that support our spiritual good. So I'm going to bring some Chrysocolla out here. It can be also wonderful for working with self-love and love of others. Yeah, it's just a nightmare heart. Ugh. I do not have boji stones or moki marbles, but I do have something similar. This is a piece of granite from Africa that was blessed by a priest there. It was a gift from a colleague and a co-student years ago. She had lost her sister, and I had gifted her a piece of jet to help her with the healing process there. And while she was in Africa attending her sister's memorial, the priest blessed a number of stones to be given to them as a gift for them, something to bring back from Africa where they had lost their sister. And so I feel like this has a very similar energy to moki marbles. It can be very grounding and transformative and help you through those really difficult times, like intense personal loss. So I'm going to bring that in. Don't know where exactly that's going to land, but we'll put that there. For, letting go of anger and moving through it, I'll definitely get us some howlite. And also for Karen, let's see. Emotional and physical healing for your son. Self-love for sure. Emotional and physical, I feel really called to use rutilated quartz in support of that. Let's go ahead and bring in some howlite. Howlite is it's like we're using the stones, it's like you could have asked me, Danielle, what stones do you think are the most underappreciated in crystal healing? And I would have grabbed so many of the stones from today. Something in the air. So here's white howlite. White howlite is great for anger, resentment, frustrations of all kinds. It helps us to process those difficult feelings so that we can use them as fuel to move forward making decisions that are in alignment with our highest good, like chrysoprase. and to rather than stew in them and become destructive, whether externally or internally or both, as it so often happens. Anger is not a bad feeling. It is not a wrong feeling to have. Anger is, when it comes to things like righteous indignation, like, yeah, there's a reason for it to be there. It takes a lot of energy to sustain it, but it can also give a lot of energy to something that's meaningful, like standing up for yourself. It is very uncomfortable, but it can be helpful if we can ground it and utilize it appropriately. And so here's to hoping that we can do both of those things, ground it and utilize it appropriately. Yep. Okay, so, and of course we have rutilated quartz. Rutilated quartz is excellent when we have like mental, emotional, physical healing all wrapped up together. The rutils within this clear quartz, this helps to direct the energy exactly where it needs to go. It helps to balance mind and body. And it also helps to bring about physical energy we need to get physically better and start to bounce back after illness, surgery, anything that has kind of zapped our resources. It's such an incredible all-purpose stone. We use it here a lot. I also feel like, because we're coming close to transitioning to the next part of our time together, I'm going to go ahead and suggest some chrysoprase, because if there is a stone of helping you overcome disappointment and keep going, it is chrysoprase. It's this candy apple green. I love it so much. Whenever you kind of are hit with disappointment, it can be so tempting to just kind of give up or get stuck and feel like you can't move forward. Like, why move forward? It's like it's zapped all my energy. And that's something we need to be wary of, is not simply falling apart and standing still. This allows us to see the progress we've made and acknowledge it and take pride in that, and allow that to spur us on to continue making that change. So chrysoprase, an excellent stone for feeling really defeated and yet finding your pride, finding your true center, realigning your heart with your soul's purpose, and putting one foot back out there and one foot after the other, taking even more steps forward. So this can be very helpful for us today. So let's see how we want to work this in. Yeah, overwhelmed and speechless. Overwhelmed and speechless. I had an emergency hysterectomy when I was about 34. It was a long story. Maybe I'll talk about it one day, but today is not that day. But yeah, I don't know how I would have caught my breath today. I really don't. I mean, I feel ill, but I don't know how I would have caught my breath if that were not the case. It's just mind-boggling. Let's see, what else can help us here? I feel like there's one more stone. I know. Ruby. Leadership, management, deciding what we do first, prioritizing, and follow through. This really helps to, at a time like this or any time that we feel like there's a physical threat or we don't feel safe, that's something that hits our root chakra, and that's our fight or flight survival mode stuff. If we are not settled there, we're not going to be able to do much anything else. The phrase, you can't teach a hungry man about God, it would be very much like a root chakra thing. You know, you take care of somebody's basic needs, and then we can have more philosophical discussions. This is a stone of satiating the root chakra, being firm and standing in who you are, and then being able to come up with a logical plan. So we'll hang out with some ruby here. Awesome. Yeah, thank you. Oh, Jen, yeah, if ever there was a day to have joy for this, it's this day. Yeah, it is this day. But I'm gonna keep fighting for everybody that still does have a uterus. Okay, so here we go. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a peek around, see if there's any other stones that wanna be a part of this. And then we'll go ahead and vote on our favorite stones that we wanna add. From there, I'll explain what Reiki is to anyone who's new to the concept, and then we will go right into the healing, because remember, it's, you know, a lather, rinse, repeat kind of thing when it comes to social change. It's a marathon. It is not a sprint. So we need to do the thing that is counterintuitive, which is stop, rest, and resist again. We have to stop, rest, rise again. Continue doing that, because if we burn out, we're not going to be able to help ourselves or anyone else. So yeah, glad that you're here. You're always welcome here. And remember, there's a whole backlog of videos, and I have tested it many a time. The video reel of watching these in the future feels just as good. I enjoy one like every day. Every day I enjoy looking back at one of these. So know that if you ever need a session and I'm not live, go ahead and watch a replay and you will feel better. So let me pick out a couple of stones. Okay, so here's our choices. Black tourmaline, which is excellent for repelling that negative energy and just like, no, don't need to accept that. It's a big old mirror to bad vibes. Just send it right back to where it came from. The other is Moonstone. Moonstone is highly connected with the moon cycles, the lunar cycles, the sacred feminine, and the tarot card, the High Priestess, which is very much that divine feminine of the magician is like the archetype of masculine. I have the tools, I know how to use them, I know how to do the thing, make the thing happen. Where the High Priestess is very, I know, like, I know the secrets of the universe. I know the cycles. I know how things are going to work out. She's the balance of above and below. She has all of the arcane knowledge from Solomon's Temple. She is like the queen in that sense of all of the divine feminine aspects, and also all things in their time and in their cycle. So this is potentially a good stone too. So go ahead and vote in the chat and see which one of these stones resonates with you. Go ahead and feel free to like the stream while you do that, and I'm going to briefly explain what Reiki is to those who are uninitiated. Again, thank you all for being here. So again, thank you. As I mentioned at the top of the hour, I'm Danielle Stimpson. I'm the owner of Learn Reiki Philadelphia, and I've had the honor of teaching Usui Reiki for about 13 years. If you want to learn more about my online Reiki certifications, my social media, my community Discord, or my crystal shop, all of that information is in the description below, along with all of the regular days and times that I go live. My understanding of Reiki, and depending on who you ask, will always be a little different because it's just one of those things. It's more experiential, which is why it's so important that you're here today. Discovering what Reiki is, it's a lot easier to actually experience it. Much like if you're trying to describe to someone what chocolate tastes like, wouldn't it be easier to simply give them a piece of chocolate? Much the same concept. Essentially, this particular practice of working with this energy that I utilize comes from Japan. And in Japan, there is the Shinto worldview, which is that everything has a soul, everything has energy. We're all interconnected by many of these energies, even though we are our own fields. There is an interlacing between. And one of those energies that runs between all things, you, me, the stuff behind me, the animals, the trees, the plants, is Reiki, or spiritually guided life energy. And what's meant by spiritually guided life energy is this is sort of the building block good stuff. This is not my personal energy nor anyone else's personal energy, but it is a part of our personal energies. Our body, mind, and spirit are already working with this energy all the time, in much the same way that we're mostly made of water, but we don't really think of it that way. Yet water is critically important to our survival in so many ways. When we drink it, we don't have to consciously think about how it's used in our body. Our body just does the thing. It's our subconscious takes over. Very similar with Reiki. When this energy is allowed to flow in, say a little bit stronger, which is essentially what's going to be happening here. I'll connect with this energy and essentially direct more of it to you. Your body, mind, and spirit will take over and utilize that energy to support your greater good, whatever that looks like to you. If it's more of a physical thing, you may feel physical sensations in your body. If it's more mental, emotional, you may feel some feelings coming up. You may have some thoughts come up. You may realize some inner truths. Your subconscious may speak. Your intuitive self may speak. You may get messages from your guides. Any of these things can happen. And for that, I often suggest that if you do start seeming to think, go ahead and let it go. It's not, getting a Reiki session does not require you to quiet your mind nor focus on anything. And although you can do either of those things if you want to, if you feel that that would be helpful, oftentimes just allowing our subconscious to pop up, it can be really intriguing, really helpful, and oftentimes just the answer we were looking for. You may also, and this happens frequently, just feel really relaxed and maybe even fall asleep. Awesome, go right ahead and take a nap. Sometimes that's exactly where we need to be. If your mind is racing and you get distracted or you're not sure what's going through your mind, if it's helpful or not, just take a deep breath and see if it comes back and let it play out and see what comes of it. At the end of the session, I will welcome you back by inviting you to take a breath, a couple stretches if you feel you want to, and then I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you might have if you are here live. If you are not here live, feel free to use the comments or to reach out to me on social media. I'll do my very best to help. As we discuss at the end, we'll go ahead. I'll stay as long as you need me here, and we'll take it from there. You're welcome to come back as often as you like and watch these videos anytime you need. Every healing is a little bit different. The element of communal chi is also at play. That's the Chinese medicine understanding that the more people come together with the same or similar intention, the greater the potential energy is magnified for everyone. At the same time, all of our individual energy fields remain separate from one another's and protected while continuing to be linked through the Reiki and any other energy that connects us all. I want to thank you for being here today and giving me an opportunity to share this healing with all of you. It's an honor, it is a privilege. And without any further ado, let's go right ahead back into the healing, see which crystal won the vote, wink wink, and then we'll go ahead into the healing. When I do turn the music up and the lights down, you'll notice the lights will gently move through several different colors. Please know that the lights will never flash nor strobe. You'll be safe there. Again, thank you for being here, and we'll go ahead back to the healing. Cora Carr, welcome in. Good to see you. We've got a big, bold healing today. Yeah, let's do both. So let's do Moonstone. Moonstone. And let's do the black tourmaline. Right out here, keeping us safe. I'm also going to add in a little bit of dalmatian jasper. Dalmatian jasper, these black spots are actually rods of black tourmaline going through jasper. Wonderful for helping clear any negative energy out of our field. Hi Vincent, great to see you. I often use these alongside black tourmaline and or the other clearing stones like Smoky Quartz and things like that. It can really help to clear our field. Same too with howlite, they work really well together. So I'm going to go ahead and just put some of these around. Oh yeah. Fantastic. So everyone go ahead and get nice and comfortable. Thank you, Grace. Thank you. And thank you everyone for taking part in the building of a grid. This allows all of us to work together to enhance that communal chi aspect and make it physically tangible. And of course, it adds so much to the healing. So yeah, Reiki community, the community that is coming up in this comment section is like, it cheers me on every day. Every day I think about all of you, and thank you so much for being here and for being yourselves. So go ahead, get comfy. I'm going to turn down the lights and turn up the volume on the music, and I'll go ahead and be silent as I send to all of you. I'm going to send for about 25 minutes, so we'll end right at the top of the hour. And from there, I'll welcome you back, invite you to ask any questions. And remember, I will be back at 8 p.m. tonight and again on Sunday at 8 p.m. Thanks for being here and enjoy your healing. Take a deep breath in and out. Slowly come back to your body. See if you need to move, stretch, or bend. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you feel better. I know I do. And if you have any questions or anything to share, feel free to go ahead into the chat and let me know. Oh, you all are so welcome. Thank you for the kind words and the support. Deeply appreciate all of you. It was wonderful to share some healing space today, especially today. Anytime, but especially today. And remember, I'll be back again at 8 East Coast US time, so if you care to join me, I'll be here. Yeah, absolutely. You all are so welcome. Deep breath in and out. You're so welcome, Cora, Carr, and Vincent. Remember to take care of yourselves in terms of Reiki and energy and self-care, but also in terms of the more basic stuff, the seemingly obvious things, like, resting, trying to get enough sleep, eating well if you can, remembering to eat, all of that good stuff. Yeah, we do need to heal each other too, ourselves and each other. Yep, resist, rest, rise again. It's definitely a lather, rinse, repeat kind of situation. Thank you all so very, very much. I woke up to the news as I slept in today, which was wild. I'm usually up way earlier. And woke up to the news, but was heartened by knowing I had this already set up for us. And thank you for being a part of it. I get as much joy out of hosting as you do participating. So I'm going to go ahead and get ready to disconnect now. I'm going to go ahead and ground and eat and do some things. And I'll be back at 8 p.m. And I'll be back Sunday at 8. Remember, if you haven't already, go ahead and like the stream. It helps other folks discover it. Additionally, I'm going to continue doing more and more pop-up streams in addition to the 5 that are our weekly anchors. Those aren't going anywhere. So if you want to be the first to know when I pop on, you can follow our Instagram, but the reach on Instagram is very limited with the most recent algorithm. So I suggest that you go ahead and like with notifications on if you want to know right away if we're going live today. Cool. And remember, if you don't make it back for the 8 p.m. one, you can watch it later. It's totally okay. That's the beauty of energy work. Time and space are just constructs. They are very applicable and real in some ways and in other ways not. And here's where they're not. So thank you all so very, very much. It's an honor and a pleasure to share this healing space with all of you. Take care of yourselves and each other. Be well. Have a beautiful weekend if you can. And I will see you again soon, okay? So bye for now.